second oldest operating racetrack in the world, back in the day, used to host the round after the Indianapolis 500, and it's a big change for drivers. After going 235 miles an hour into turn number 1 at Indy, here things are a little more subdued, but the drivers have to work just as hard as they do on this 1 mile racetrack compared to what they have to do on a super speedway. Welcome to Wisconsin, welcome to the Milwaukee Mile, and welcome to the Classic IndyCar Series, round number 6 here on RaceSpot TV, streaming live on iRacing Live. Will Vincent along with Jack Stars as ever. It's literally an oval at this racetrack. You got turns banked at 9.25 degrees worth of banking, straights. They're banked at 2.5 degrees. It's got a very difficult pit entry here. We'll talk about that one in a bit. Track conditions, 76 degrees Fahrenheit, 56% race relative humidity. It's cloudy, and there's a wind speed of about 6 miles an hour. Now, this track actually once upon a time was a dirt track. It was paved over, well, quite a while ago now. But what it is still a track that a lot of people's got fond memories of, Jack, even though it hasn't really hosted any major sporting event since the 2015 IndyCar season.
Yeah, Milwaukee is one of the circuits which is big in American racing history, and it's because it's so simple. It's just 1 mile and 2 corners, and in these IndyCars where you've got so much power, that could be difficult, especially if you're running in draft. Aero push might come into play a little bit. Just a couple of drivers now finishing off of their qualifying times to get ready to go racing. 225 laps, which means we are having a 225-mile race here for your enjoyment today, and these guys have put up a sterling job all season long. Although, Will, one name that is missing today is Michele Constantini.
Yeah, indeed. So apparently he's packed his bags and he decided he's had enough with sim racing. We think he's found himself someone to settle down with, or you never know, we might see him on a real racetrack before you know it. Now, we say it's 1 mile in length, Jack. A little bit of trivia here. It's disputed. In terms of NASCAR, yep, they'll say it's 1 mile. IndyCar, the Indy Racing League, they called it 1.015 miles, and CART, they called it 1.032 miles. Apparently, you can measure a track 3 different ways.
It's all about which line you take, Will, and every decimal place counts. And if you, obviously everyone's going to say everywhere is going to be a different distance. You can measure a track 1,600 times and you probably get 1,600 different answers. So everyone's going to do it slightly differently, but it will go with the official one. We'll say it's 1 mile. Yeah,
indeed. So we are just going to say thank you very quickly to a couple of people. Ismail Balao, TrackCams22.com. Andres Warner, the official graphics partner of RaceSpot TV. And also to Simon Grossman at Engineering.com. Nick Thisson for RaceSpot TV, live timing and scoring. Qualifications, as we said, are underway right now. And it is Matt Cook, the Cook machine, who is leading right now in that number 46 Aero X racing machine. Randy Shoemaker in second place, Randy Crosland in third, Andrew Aitken in fourth, Johnny Garrett in the 5th place. No real surprise in terms of qualifying here.
Now it's the usual names we see up at the front. A lot of big names in IndyCar racing on iRacing. Robert Grosser, one of the names who he's 3-time champion in this series. He is down in 9th at the moment, Will. So he's obviously not having a great car. Henry Bennett down in P, number 18, and that's not where you want to see the championship leader.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing. This is a track that you either get or you don't. I remember back in 2011, I tried for a weekend to do somewhere in the region of about 3,000 laps here, Jack, and I still couldn't get it right. And it's one of those, a bit like Indy, a bit like certain road courses. If you don't get it, you don't get it.
Yeah, I think everyone has their favourite tracks and everyone has their tracks that they absolutely hate. I have my own, and for some drivers here today it might be Milwaukee Mile, and obviously not as big as grid as we have seen so far this season, only 27 cars. Mind you, that is a lot of cars for a track only a mile long, but as you said, Will, some people just cannot get their heads around some tracks, and I wonder whether Henry Bennett is struggling here this weekend.
Yeah, in terms of your championship standings, here we are. Henry Bennett does lead the way then. He's got a huge gap, if we're going to say goodbye to Michele Constantini, to Marshall Stanley of 78 points, Hans Pitkanen in 4th, Austin Espartee in 5th, and Matt Cook 6th, Robert Grosser, Carson Bodaway Dave Sistedo and Jos van der Ven round out your top 10, as there's P number 11 through 20 up on your screens as it stands right now. So, qualifying will be over in about 10 seconds time, and that means we can get ourselves a look at your starting grid for what will be round number 6 of the championship. And in 2 weeks' time, we're going to go to this track. So here we are then at Milwaukee Mile, but in a couple of weeks' time, we will be heading ourselves over to Belle Isle in Detroit. One of the first series you'll see at Belle Isle. You can catch it here on Racesport TV and on iRacing Live. Let's have a look then at your starting grid for this round number 6 of the championship. Let's go. Matt Cook, 165.8 miles an hour around this 1 mile racetrack. That's 21.712 seconds if you want it in time. Randy Shoemake in second place, alongside him, front row of the grid. Then, row number 2, Randy Crosno and Andrew Aitken. Third row of the grid, we'll see Johnny Garrett and Mike Gerlicher, with row number 4 being Matt Molnar and Hans Pitkanen. Row number 5, Robert Grosser and Sasha Lamp, with Dave Sistedo and Andrew Adair Saunders on row number 6. Zach Turner and Jos van der Ven in row 7. Row 8, Adam Shipstone and Timo Isinyemi. Row number 9, Carson Bodaway and Henry Bennett. And then row 10, Lucas Aville, Andrew Wood. Rest of qualifying times coming up on your screen right now as the pace car pulls off there, Jack.
Yeah, everyone looking like there's going strong. It's going to be, I believe, is it 2 lap pace laps here? One lap. So it is literally, these guys have 1 mile to get themselves buckled in, get the belts tight, and get ready to go racing. So Matt Cook, he is going to have control of the whole field, and hopefully we won't see a repeat of what we've seen, or what we saw at Homestead, Miami, in round number 1, where we saw the front grid basically just go into the wall on the first lap. Yeah,
Matt Cook then will bring the field around on this pace lap. We are getting ourselves ready to go racing for the 6th round of the championship here on Racesport TV. Live timing and scoring will be available once the race commences. Visit racesport.tv/live for that one. Slightly different to what we normally have. Pace car is going to work itself out of corner number 4. We are set then to go racing here at the Milwaukee Mile. Pace car going to come on towards pit road, and we are going to go racing. Oh, trouble already. We've got a caution. Big crash through turn number 1, and we've got about 4 drivers involved. Noah McBride, Johnny Garrett involved in that, Mike Gerlicher involved as well, Jack.
Yeah, it looks as though Mike Gerlicher just cut up that number 68 driver of Johnny Garrett, and those who went spinning off into the wall. There was drivers behind. They were 4 wide into turn 1. Those drivers had nowhere to go, and in fact, actually, there was 2 separate incidents in that one. Wheel Sasha Lamp was the second one which was involved. I'll go and find out what happened to him. Looks like he had a tangling with the car ahead of him trying to slow down, and that was Robert Grosser.
Yep, so Robert Grosser, we'll have a look at that one next. Here we are, first of all, onboard Gerlicher. There's the first incident, and then you see the second one happening as well. We'll turn our attentions then over to Robert Grosser now. We'll show you what happened to him as he came towards the start-finish line. Well, that was the angle from Robert Grosser as we go back to have a look at live pictures. So Matt Cook then will pick up the pace car as we're on lap number 3 of 225. Probably a good point to mention this one, Jack, that of course this could well become a timed race, and that makes it very difficult for the strategy guys to try and get this call right. Because if it is going to be a timed race, then a lot of people are going to have to do a lot of thinking here today.
Yeah, this is very important. The time limit on this race is 2 hours long. It has gone into the time limit at points this season so far, and it is important for strategy as well. For now, I think the drivers need to be strategizing themselves to do 225 miles. If it does turn into the fact that we do hit the 2 hour mark, even if we do 224 laps instead, that could throw the strategy off, because some people might not get the fuel spot on, as we see a car just slowing down onto pit lane, sorry, looking like he's crabbing and got quite a lot of damage. That is going to be your car of Jos van der Ven in the 167 machine for 4X Racing. Obviously one of the drivers caught up in that lap 1 incident, but strategy is going to be heavily important here, and if we have as many cautions as we have seen in the past, that is going to lay into the hands of people who can get it right, like Stefan Wilson nearly did in the Indy 500 last week.
Yeah, of course, he was only a couple of laps away from potential immortality. In terms of who's pitted so far then, they include a couple of drivers towards the rear of your field. Our timing scoring just messed up a little bit, but Cook leads right now from Shoemake. And then Randy Crosland in third, Andrew Aitken fourth, Matt Molnar, Hans Pikkinen, David Costello, Adam Shipstone. They are your top 8. One thing that's worth noting is that the restart zone is very small here at the Milwaukee Mile. The pace car literally will pull in, and then the green flag will come out immediately. It's a bit like what you see at Pocono. But here, the pace car, unfortunately, we're going to go on board right now with Matt Cook, and you'll just notice as the pace car is going to come and go past start-finish time. We just saw the pit road then. It's literally just a gap in the wall.
Yeah, it is quite literally a gap in the wall here. The yellow line that you have to be across as lights off on the pace car, so we will be going green next time by. But this pit entry is going to be very difficult, especially if you're coming off the corner at 250 kilometers an hour. You've got to slow that car down to pit road speeds and of 72 kilometers an hour just to get that car slowed down in that length of time is going to be extremely difficult, and hope the drivers behind you, if they aren't following you into the pits, can see that you are slowing down.
72 kilometers an hour makes absolutely no sense to me. I'm sorry. I'm a miles an hour guy. Always will be.
No, I'm very sorry.
Yes, but drivers now just going to head themselves through corner number 4. So lights are out on the pace car. Everyone, of course, running that ultra-high line, because you cannot pass on the inside, but you can on the outside when you come to a restart. So 5 laps in the books then here in Wisconsin. Pace car going to dart on towards pit road. We say it's last minute. It's now. Green flag in the air. Cook slow there to respond. Everyone's going to bunch up behind him. Through turn number 1. Are we going to be okay? Yes, we are, but we've got a lot of stacked up drivers then down in your mid-pack. As we got yellow again, we just saw a car. That is Mike Gerlicher then. We heard news that he was going to be really good this weekend, but Mike Gerlicher actually has an issue on the restart. Number 31 machine. Tries to do a bit of a Rossi there, going on the outside of people from turn 1. Back end steps out on him. Spins it around. He doesn't hit anything. Just a little bit of broken pride for him there.
Yeah, another caution, and he was caught up in that incident on turn number 1. And he's been caught up in another incident, causing a second caution of the race so far. So back down to the pace car speed, and these drivers have got another 4 or 5 laps of sitting behind the pace car just to get themselves composed. This will help these drivers, some of them as well, because it just means that some of the frustration and the adrenaline from the start as well can just get flushed out of the body a little bit, and they can just get themselves calmed down and settled in for the rest of the race.
Well, you say that, but actually the fact that they've not done more than 3 corners, a lot of people are already starting to get a little bit tetchy right now, because they want to try and make moves. And of course, every time you do a restart, you do a heat cycle on your tires, so they're going to become less responsive potentially, as we are now on lap number 8 of 225. We're going to put that ticker running along the top of your screen when we go back to green flag racing. We'll let you know if anyone decides to come on towards pit road when the pit road opens in about 30 seconds time. Crosno did get himself up into 2nd place. So it's currently a Banshee Aero X 1-2 here at Milwaukee.
There is also a car between Matt Cook and Randy Crosno, and that is Racebot TV's very own overlay designer, Andreas Werner, Will. So he could play into this a little bit, because we know Andreas is fast.
Yeah, but of course, for Andy, the issue's going to be is that he's between them, but he is scored a lap down right now. So, for Andy Werner, even though he's second in line, he's going to have a fantastic restart to basically try and get back onto the lead lap. And you've got to do it the hard way here. There's no lucky dogs. This isn't NASCAR. There's no easy way around. On a single file restart, they will restart in the order that the caution came out, unless one of two things happen. We are in the last 10 laps of the race, or we're in a situation where drivers come on towards pit road, which basically means there's a car or a set of cars in front of the driver and behind the pace car.
Yeah, he just needs to get it right. On the first restart, he almost got the jump on Matt Cook. I think he was hoping Matt was going to go a little bit earlier than he did, so he just had to back off and then lost a little bit of time to Matt. He didn't get overtaken behind. Randy Shoemake had a horrible restart. He went from P2 to P4. Well, he got it all wrong, had to run the high line through turn number 1, and did not have the run that he needed, and lost 2-3 positions in the process.
2 cautions already here today. We have used about 8 minutes of the time to do 9 laps. So based upon this current progress, we'll do 120. But of course, we will get some green flag running in today. We are certain of that one. Just having a look from up above, those lights go off on top of the pace car.
Lights are indeed off on top of the pace car. Matt Cook has got to get his restart spot on, and if he can, he might be able to gap Randy Crosno, who is in second place, because he has Andy Werner between them. And if he can do that, Matt Cook is in a good position to just get some laps under his belt and start pulling out a little bit more of a gap.
So there are your top 8, bottom of your screen, as we get ourselves ready for the restart here. Second time of asking. Now, we got through turn number 1 for the most part that last time by. Let's see how these drivers will react to having 2 heat cycles on their tyres. Pace car again going to make that very late entrance on towards pit road. We're going to experience this one from the rear of Matt Cook as we come back to green flag racing. Yellow again. Saw someone falling down the screens there, and that's Marshall Stanley, another driver involved in that one as well. Okay. Slowly by slowly, we are getting there, Jack. But let's have a look at the replay. On board Marshall Stanley, down at turn number 2.
I would say that he had the same issue as Mike Gelliker did. He just lost the rear end, and there was cars caught up in that. Unfortunately, a few people couldn't avoid him. There was the number, or who was that who got caught up? Jonathan Diggs in the number 45 was one of them. I did see a couple more. I believe it was Andrew Adair Saunders as well in the number 4 machine has been thrown off, and he actually sent, I think there was 2 more involved as that well, but that's not the way that we want to go. Caution number 3.
And Matt Molnar moved himself up into second place on that one, ahead of Randy Crosno. So we're going to take a quick break here on Racesport TV. Back with more in just a couple of moments. Third caution of the day, about to be complete here at the Milwaukee Mile. Matt Cook leads from Matt Molnar, Randy Krosno, Randy Shoemake, and Hans Pitkanen. We're good through turn number 1 this time. In towards turn number 3. And it only took 3 attempts, Jack, but we've done a lap here, green, onto lap number 17 of 225.
Everyone off to a nice and clean start there. Matt Cook getting the jumps he needed over Matt Molnar. Matt Molnar is currently holding second. They have broken away a little bit, looking a little bit further down in the pack. We've got 2 wide, 2 deep racing. One of the drivers I saw there was Lucas Laville. This is the battle, it looks like, for about P5 or P6. Andrew Aitken, Adam Shipstone going to try and go side by side into 1 and 2 this time. Andrew Aitken not going to be able to get the move done. The Talk Freak Racing driver of Adam Shipstone is going to hold his line for now, but Lucas Laville is going to want to try and move his way up the field and try and make for points lost in the rounds past. He obviously had that incident at Spa and Sebring, sorry. And in fact, Adam Shipstone makes a mistake coming off of turn number 4. Lucas Laville is going to take advantage of that one, going down to 1 and 2 this time. Lucas Laville going to move himself up into 7th place, and caution flies.
And that is Noel McBride, number 41 machine there. Replay coming up for him.
That's a new one. He got it on the curb.
Well, I've seen that happen before. And the thing is, that curb, it's not like the Indy curb. It's not as flat as the Indy curbs. If you touch it, you get a little bit of grip, and then all of a sudden, it's like, nah, I've had enough now. See you later.
Yeah, I think that's what happened for Niall there. It just looked as though he got a car on the... I mean, no damage on his car as well. It was just an innocent mistake of getting the car onto the curb, and curbs are usually your friend in racing cars, but at Milwaukee, I think Niall has just proved they're not.
Yeah, just have a look back to Adam Shipton whilst we have a moment. It's right on board of him, for the corners. Well, that's not, that is Shipstone there. We're going to have a look at him. Here he is, side by side. This is coming off of turn number 4. The issue he had was on the exit of turn number 1 and 2, Jack, if memory serves me right.
Yeah, I think it was. I think Lucas Laville got the move done into 1 and 2, but it just looks as though Adam Shipstone did have a slight issue coming off of 4 on a previous lap. I'm going to go and have a look now, see if I can find it. I think it was just a case of he didn't get as good a drive off the corner as Lucas Laville. Oh, no, he got on the curb.
Yeah, he did. That allowed Lucas Laville to go right past him there, and Shipstone loses the position as a consequence. Now, 70 laps is what you have in terms of a fuel tank here. They're going to have done 4 heat cycles already. Anyone dare come in, or do you just hold position for as long as possible right now, Jack?
If this is the 4th heat cycle, I would probably want a new set of tyres. Or, although the fact we're already on our 4th caution, we're on lap number 21, I would say there's probably going to be more. So whatever happens, you're going to be putting through these tyres through a lot of heat cycles today, and they are already, I can see these tyres being pretty worn and pretty worse for wear. Yeah, as we have a look though, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers all staying out. If you're towards the rear of the field, you might as well just gamble for it at this point and come in. And that's what we are going to have. A couple of people are going to come in towards the rear part of your field. Jos van der Ven, Robert Grosser, Jonathan Diggs, all on pit road. These are guys who are scored as laps down, however. They're just coming in because if they do get lucky with a caution later on, they might get one of their laps back. Yeah, I think this is definitely a strategy move from these guys, and I mean they're trying to do this the clever ways. In fact, nice quick stop for Robert Grosser. He's already moving, and I think he might have even jumped a couple of cars in the pits there. Well, he's up 1. Garrett is down 1. So Grosser up to 23rd. Garrett down into 24th. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I thought he might have jumped at least one person because his stop did look particularly quick. Obviously, it's not going to be a full-length stop that we're seeing at the moment because everyone is going to be... Well, the tanks are pretty much still going to be full because they've just been running on a really low fuel map so far today. Well, they've done about 3 laps of green flag racing, I think. Yeah, yeah, about that. But the Milwaukee Mile, it is notorious for being hard to overtake on. That's the reason why, Jack, a lot of people are trying to make these passes early. 9.25 degrees of banking here, so that is more
the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. It's a traditional banking as well. It's another step banking, a parabolic banking. What you see is what you get. But the inside line still has more grip.
And that inside line is where everyone is going to want to be. If you get washed out to the outside, trying to make a move around there, you're going to need some good tyres, which is definitely going to be a case of who's got the better tyres to be able to make a move around the outside. If someone makes a mistake, by all means, stuff your nose down the inside and try and get the move done.
There's your top 8. Bottom of your screen. Matt Cook continues to lead the way. Keep an eye out, by the way, on Randy Krosner. He was not that good on the last restart. And maybe Randy Shoemake will be looking to try and make a pass on him as they come down towards turn number 1. Cook then given up on that outside, ultra outside line for the time being. Pace car will come on towards pit road. We are going to go back to green flag racing here at the Milwaukee Mile. Everyone gets a pretty solid restart then in towards turn number 1, too wide. You have your pack Jan Hoffman versus Dave Costello going on right now. But they come down the back straight away. And again, a poor restart by Krosno. However, Shoemake has a poor restart as well. And that means he can't close in on that number 74 car.
And Lucas Seville has managed to get, he got a great restart, managed to get his way past the car of Adam Shipstone. Lucas Seville going to move himself up into P number 7 now ahead. Andrew Aiken, Hans Pickenen, these guys are going to be going ahead. But Matt Cook, he's got the restart that he needed. He's got a slight gap over Matt Molnar. I think he's about a second now, Will.
Yeah, there's your field. You can see they're a little bit more spread out, and that is fine. As Jan Hoffman and Andrew Wood, they'll go side by side on the exit of corner number 4. Hoffman looking for a position, having to run that outside line. And some people do need to run the outside line early, otherwise this will just become a single groove racetrack by about lap number 75. So Hoffman then in that number 05 car, not able to do anything for the time being over Andrew Wood. But to go back to Matt Cook, your race leader, he's leading, but Krosno has caught up to the rear, Matt Molnar.
He certainly has, and he's putting the pressure on Molnar. Molnar managed to get second place because Randy Krosno had a bit of a poor restart. And in fact, look at that, through 3 and 4, going to be closing up even more. Coming down to turn number 1, he's not going to be close enough, I think, to be able to make a move. All he needs to do, there you go, you can see they're running slightly different lines because the track has not been rubbered in yet. Randy Krosno going to try and go down to the inside into 3 and 4, and I think he might just be alongside. Yes, they are going to go side by side into turn number 3 and 4. I think that move might be done. Matt Molnar going to drop down to 3rd position.
Yep, Krosno up into 2nd place then. So a fantastic run by him to get back up into P number 2. But Molnar tries to go back down the inside immediately. The following corner can't do so. Jan Hoffman side by side on Mike Gerlicher down in towards turn number 1 as well. Nothing's really going to change that. Although Hoffman does like that outside line compared to most other drivers. But he's going to lose out to teammate Sinyemi. Sinyemi looking now down to the inside of Gerlicher as they come through turn number 3 and 4. Sinyemi is charging back through the field. He's into P number 14.
Randy Shoemaker's managed to get himself past Matt Molnar as well. He is up into position number 3. The number 29 machine has not had the best restart. Well, he's already dropped 2 positions. I don't think that car is looking very stable. Everyone else ahead is running much better lines as well. Matt Molnar, I think those tyres might be starting to go on that whole full heat cycle. There you go, quick touch on the curb just to try and get the car gripped up, but not long enough to throw it sideways like we have seen.
Yeah, Shoemake then up into 3rd place. As you can see on the RaceSpot.tv replay, you can touch that curb on the inside of turn number 1 to help turn the car around. It's a technique a number of drivers have used over the year. For long part, that's actually part of the racetrack as well. So it has got a little bit of banking on it there, Jack.
It does, and Randy Shoemaker's managed to close the gap to Randy Krosno now. Randy is going to be under pressure. Oh, the 2 Randys are going to go head-to-head for position number 2, Will. And Randy Shoemaker, he has been strong, and he is one that has been ticked off to me as one to watch out for during this race.
Yeah, Shoemaker is always good on an oval. It doesn't matter what type of oval it is. Randy Krosno has had successes at the short tracks over the years here, New Hampshire Motor Speedway. But Shoemaker is hunting him down right now as they'll exit turn number 4. Lap number 33 going to be scored complete as onto 34 they go. So a nice green flag run to go now. There's Costello versus Henry Bennett. That one's going on for P number 12 on track. Costello tries the inside line, just can't hold it down there. Bennett retains P number 11.
Todd Novsad and Timo Isinniemi have just had a coming together through turn 1 and 2. He's staying green for now, but Novsad just looked like he lost the car on the inside, had a little bit of loss of grip on the rear wheels. Timo Isinniemi didn't really have anywhere to go. He didn't check up as much as he probably could have done, which would have put the car behind of Mike Gerlicher under or into the danger zone. Mike Gerlicher managed to avoid it completely, so he has kept running. All 3 cars are still going, but Todd Novsad does look like he is much slower because he has just lost out to a couple more cars there.
Yeah, and you can just see that steering wheel. It's looking as though he's having to saw that wheel right now. And we'll have a look at his last lap time compared to his best. And his best is a 22.4. Last time back up to a 23.8. Previous lap he did a 26-second lap. And he's actually not that far away from being a lap.
He's lost it again.
He's lost it again. Caution.
Same thing, same place on the track. And it's just a case of those rear tyres, I think, has had one heat cycle too many there, Will. Todd had nowhere to go in that car. Just very light contact with the safer barrier through turn number 2. And caution flies once again on the racetrack.
Yep, so that is caution number 5 of the day. Todd Novsad then. He was doing okay, but the thing is, when you get into a situation when you've got damage to your car, you try playing around with these in-car tools. The anti-roll bar, the weight jacket to compensate. That can work in the short term, Jack, but it's not a long-term fix. You normally do have to bring that car onto the lane.
Yeah, obviously the in-car tools can help, especially at a track like this where it's going to be changing so much over the course of the race. But I think Todd just maybe had that weight jacker and the anti-roll bar set up slightly wrong. One click out is enough to put the car on the wall, and I wonder whether that's what has happened to him. He has got damage to that car, and I would expect to see him come down onto the lane to get that repaired.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see everyone on the lane this time by. Here is Matt Cook then, exiting corner number 4. Who is going to blink out of your front runners? The answer is going to be, we might get an angle at some point. They're all coming in.
A couple of drivers are staying out, but it looks like those guys are the guys who are multiple laps down. And actually, Todd Novsad has stayed out, which I'm surprised by, actually, Will.
That's why he has to wait until the next lap in order to do so. So drivers are on towards pit road. So let's see who's going to win the race off of pit road. It is going to be Cook who gets there first, then Crosno, Molnar up 1, Shoemake down 1, Hickman up 2, Aitken down 1, DeVille up 1, Shipstone, Borderway, etc. We're going to take a quick break here on Racebook TV. Back in a moment. Welcome back then to the Classic IndyCar Series, brought to you by Logical Innovative Engineering. One driver did not come on towards pit road from those on the lead lap, Jack. That is championship leader Henry Bennett.
I think Henry is banking on another caution to be able to get that strategy. He needed to get himself back up. He started 18th place. He has been making his way up through the field, but also, Will, he has made 2 pit stops already, but his tyres are 39 laps old.
Indeed so. And the thing for Bennett is, if you're out front, there's a good chance you're not going to be involved in the cautions as and when they happen. Here we are then, getting set for the restart. 41 laps of 2:25. Going to be score complete. Let's go on board with Bennett. Three wide down in your mid-pack there, Jack.
Yeah, everyone having a good old scrap in the mid-pack. Henry Bennett, nice clean start from him. What he needed to do coming down into turn number 1. Lucas Seville, Andrew Aitken are going to go side by side. Even further ahead, there is battling going on. Randy Shoemake, Randy Crosno, Matt Molnar, Matt Cook. These guys are all running in one big pack at the moment. Looking like they're going to try and go too wide, too deep, but not going to be able to get it done. So they're just going to go line astern to turn number 3 and 4. Looks as though Randy Crosnow's got on that curb through 3 and 4. Will, he's got that car slightly sideways. The number 3 of Randy Shoemaker is going to make his way around, try and go running outside through 1 and 2. Randy Crosno is going to have to defend, while Matt Cook is making his way past some lap traffic in the form of Jos van der Ven.
Yeah, as they'll then work themselves on the conclusion of lap number 43. Look at the gap that Henry Bennett has already. 2.8 seconds over Matt Cook. That's insane.
Yeah, Henry Bennett was quite lucky because he has quite a lot of lap traffic between himself and Matt, which has been able to let him just extend out the gap, because Matt Cook was probably held up by a few of them just getting on the power coming off of the restart. Matt Cook still has the fastest lap of the race at 21.976. No one else, as far as I can see, has broken into the 21 so far, but I would expect once drivers get a new set of tyres on and the track starts to get rubbered in a little bit, times might start to drop.
Yeah, you can visit RaceSpot.tv/live if you'd like to keep up with your favourite drivers. Different websites to normal. RaceSpot.tv/live for RaceSpot TV, live timing and scoring. A lot happening on track. I want to check in with Lucas Seville right now. Number 2 machine, because he's had some very good passes here today already, Jack, and he's now got Hans Bickton and Andrew Aitken, Randy Shoemake and Randy Crosno in his sights.
He does, and they're all running nice and line astern for Lucas to just pick them off one by one. Lap traffic up high through 3 and 4. I believe that is in the form of Andrew Adair Saunders. It is indeed so. Andrew doing the nice thing and getting out of the way for the faster drivers. That's all he needs to do, is everyone else just ducks down to the inside to try and get the way past. But Lucas Seville, he started 19th, Will. He's already up to 8th position, so he is using these cautions and this green flag running to his advantage to just pick the drivers off he needs to get his way up. But actually, he's going to be hindered a little bit coming out of 4 because he has Andrew Adair Saunders on his outside. Yeah,
and Nell McBride was trying to make a pass over Sasha Lamb, just run up behind the number 25 machine, who was trying to put a lap down. That was Marshall Stanley. McBride has remained in 7th place, and we've got trouble on track. Adam Shipstone, turn around, big trouble on track. Replay on board of Shipstone. Oh, this is it. Going fully wide in towards turn number 1.
Just looks as though he lost it on his own, and well, Mike Gerlicher hasn't had a good day so far today, Will. I think he was one of the drivers caught up in that one as well. David Costello, one of the 4X Racing drivers, yeah, I think he turned his IndyCar into an aeroplane there.
The thing is that Shipstone was running 3 wide on the inside. It can be really hard when you've got a tight radius to keep that one going. Shipstone just couldn't make it work. As a consequence, we are under yellow for number 6 here today.
Yeah, it just looks as though Adam Shipstone used 1 or 2% too much throttle, and it is so sensitive in these Indy cars if you do that. There was also another driver caught up in that. It was Noah McBride again. He's really not having a good day today, Will.
He's not, no. As we will take a quick break. We'll be back in a second. Round number 7 of the Classic IndyCar Series will be here in 2 weeks' time on the street of Detroit. Belle Isle will be our host. One of the first races you'll see in any IndyCar, only on the Classic IndyCar Series. Here comes Bennett, ready for the restart. Exit of corner number 4, he will come then. Pace car on towards pit road. And we go green once again, Jack.
Yep, everyone back to green. Henry Bennett getting a good start. Everyone else nice and clean off of the start. No, I can't see any trouble so far throughout your field. A little bit of battling in the mid-pack. Almost 3 wide. Lucas Seville, I think, trying to get himself up some more positions. But Hans Pickering going to try and get a run. Well, actually, that's on a back marker, I think. Actually, no, that's Randy Shoemake. So Andrew Aikens has managed to get his way past Randy Shoemake. Further up ahead, Matt Molnar, Randy Krosno are getting around lap traffic in the form of, I believe, that must be Robert Grosson, the number 1 machine.
Yeah, it's very packed out here. And actually, as you have a look, we're on board of Matt Molnar. There's lap traffic ahead of these guys as well. Krosno is 4 tenths per second behind Matt Cook. Hitting the curb a little bit there was Matt Molnar in that number 29 machine. Down the rear of your field as well. They're going 3 wide for an entire lap between lap down drivers and drivers racing for position.
Yeah, it just looks as though there's a couple of side-by-side positions going through. Carsten Brodvig going to try and get past Lucas Laville. Carsten trying to go around the outside through number 3 and 4. Just doesn't want to make it 3 wide. Robert Gross is sitting up on the high line. Robert Gross is just going to let them go. Nice and sensible from Robert. Carsten Brodvig going to try and go down to the inside, and Lucas Laville into 1 and 2. Lucas has been left on that high line where he is going to struggle. He's going to wash up high, almost getting that number 2 machine into the wall, who has managed to hold onto the position for now. Coming into 3 and 4, Carsten Brodvig has got to get this perfect to be able to hold on to this, or to get this position. I think he might have done it. It's still a drag race, Will. Yeah,
2 wide, 2 deep then here at Milwaukee. You've got Team Racing Miami battling it out with one driver. That is the driver of Andrew Wood. Lucas Laville, though, continues his battle with Carson Borderway right now. The thing is, once you settle down into a river here at Milwaukee, you've got yourself, I'd argue, about 10 to 15 laps to make those passes. Otherwise, they start to get really difficult. Going to ride on board with Andrew Aiken. He's a silent master around this racetrack, Jack.
He is, and he's showing that today, running P number 5 behind Matt Molnar. He's going to try and look down to the inside and stand number 3 on Matt. He's not going to be able to get the move done. This brings Randy Shoemake back into the equation. Might be able to get Andrew Aitken on the exit. Number 27 machine looking like he got a little bit loose. So Randy Shoemake down to the inside into turn number 1, having to check up to avoid that number 21 machine of Matt Molnar. Matt Molnar almost getting up into the wall, and the exit to there will. But Andrew Aitken, he is a master of this place, and he's showing that today.
Yeah, Randy Shoemake then, we're having a look between himself and Matt Molnar. It's 1 tenth of a second, but as these two start to battle, we have Randy Krosno pulling away now. The gap is 1.5 seconds between the 2 of them. And Randy Krosno and Matt Molnar have separated out. And let's have a look at the lap gaps there. And this is the issue when you do run 2 wide at Milwaukee. You start losing time very, very quickly.
Yeah, and I think obviously running that high line is going to cost you time. You do have to run slightly further around the racetrack. Probably going to be edging towards that IndyCar Racing League and kart track length of just that little bit longer, but it is going to slow you down because you cannot take as much speed off the corners. Randy Shoemake is going to look down to the inside on Matt Molnar. I think might get we've got a yellow, and that is for the 058 stopped at turn number 2. David Costello is in the crash barriers.
Yep, so let's have a replay then on board with Costello. Simple, losing it there at turn number 2, and that's what's going to happen if you do not keep on top of your tools in your car.
That is, and I think Costello just lost that rear end. Turn 2 strikes again. Not sure why everyone's having so much trouble with that corner at the moment, but that car was in a slide, and I think he didn't notice it. Obviously, going from a slide from 150 miles an hour, you haven't got much time to save it, Will, and the walls are very close here. There isn't much runoff for you to save it because of how small this track is.
Yep, so pit road is open. Bennett is staying out again. He has done 64 laps on this stint, however. We have got Matt Cook on pit road, Randy Krosno on pit road, a lot of other people. Hans Pickenen's now playing the game of I'm going to stay on track. Andrew Wood is going to do the same.
Yeah, Hans Picken and Andrew Wood have only got 25 lap old tyres compared to the tyres that Henry Bennett has got, which are now 61 laps old. They have been through now I think this might be those tyres' 6th heat cycle, Will, or 5th heat cycle, so they're going to be worn, and also Henry Bennett is going to be coming down to the final drops of his fuel tank very soon.
Yeah, this will actually be his 7th heat cycle that he's going to go into at least here at Milwaukee, so he's going to have some fun. There's the race off pit road, of course. Hook leads it, then Krosno comes out behind him. Shoemake comes down a few positions. Molnar, Aitken, Broadway, Laville, etc. 64. This is now going to be a timed race, of course, Jack. Quite obviously, it will be a timed race from here on in.
Yeah, it definitely will. We've elapsed about 40 minutes of this race. We've just about made it to, I would say, 25% through, Will, so I wouldn't expect to see this race go to the full distance. The drivers now need to be getting their strategy right so that they can make 2 hours, and make 2 hours so that you cross that line with the minimum amount of fuel in your car as possible to make the minimum amount of stops. Every second you spend on pit road is a second you've lost doing 160, 170 miles an hour out on the racetrack.
Yeah, but also it's worth noting that if the race goes green from now to the end of the time limit, then you're going to have to make a green flag pit stop. So you've got to be either ultra aggressive or ultra conservative. You cannot do a midway house. And I always see, Jack, people trying to go from the middle option, it just won't work.
Yeah, obviously green flag pit stops are going to be a problem here because you will lose at least 1 lap in doing so. And if you have a caution, so if you do a green lap pit stop and then, or green flag pit stop, sorry, and then you have a caution, that could play into some drivers' hands who haven't made a pit stop. So Henry Bennett is actually running the risk now of having to do a green flag pit stop. I hope that we could see another caution so that he can get down onto the lane, get that service done. Lights out on the iRacing pace car, which means we will be going green next time by.
Indeed so. So we are going to bring you back to green flag racing in just 1 moment's time. And as we do so, we're going to bring you a little bit of RaceBot TV fan immersion. Good restart. Lap number 69. Look at the bottleneck ahead of Randy Krosno there, Jack.
Yeah, I was watching Randy Krosno on the start. He got an absolutely mega restart. Actually, I think it was Randy Shoemake. I think he did 2 cars on 1 lap there, Will. He just got the jump he needed, but they're going to go 3 wide into turn number 1 and 2. Matt Molnar, Matt Cookham. I think that's a back marker, actually, Will, because Mike Gulliker is a little bit up the field. They're going to go 3 wide almost coming out of turn number 2. Here comes Randy Shoemake, going to get Randy outside of Matt I think that might be it's actually a little bit of contact up ahead, I think.
Yeah, that is Randy Krosno and Randy Shoemake then on the exit of corner number 4. We have got a couple of technical issues for one driver right now, which is why you've just seen some random stuff. But Shoemake has gotten past Krosno. Krosno's car is not working with this lap traffic.
No, he's struggling in the traffic. The number 74 machine does not look as good as you think it would. He's going to try and go down to the inside of a back marker. That is going to be Jos van der Ven in the 167. Jos has been down onto the pit lane a few times now. He has been made 5 pit stops, the most out of any driver, tied with Andrew Destorn. So that one driver who did lose out on that restart well was Lucas Leville. He came down when the lights went off on the iRacing pace car, and that just hindered him a little bit. He is now 1 lap down.
Yeah, battle for your race lead. Henry Bennett leads over Andrew Wood by 1.4 seconds. So a great restart then for Henry Bennett in that 007 machine. And, well, he's now, get this already, 4.4 seconds ahead of Veseyula Olja and 5.2 seconds ahead of Matt Cook. That's incredible.
I think because you've got such a big sort of gaggle of cars all battling it out well, it's just let Andrew and Henry get away with it. In fact, they're going to go toe wide into turn 1. Almost contact between Matt Cook and the number 45 machine of Jonathan Diggs. Jonathan Diggs is laps down. They're going to go 3 wide, almost 4 wide. Randy Shoemaker deciding that's probably not the sensible idea at Milwaukee. He's just going to duck out of that one, but they are going to go 3 wide. Jonathan Diggs getting involved in the leader's scrap. He must be having a whale of a time out there in the 45 machine, Will.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I know we're going too wide right now, Randy Krosno and Matt Molnar, but I need to show you this one again from Randy Krosno's perspective, because this is absolutely insane to watch. Here we are. This was coming on to lap number 153. Not 153 even, the last lap. But look at this. He catches 2 drivers at once. They go 3 wide, almost 4 wide. Krosno passes Shoemaker, passes Molnar into turn number 3. Pass of the day by a long way for Randy Krosno.
Randy Krosno showing why he's such a good IndyCar driver, getting the moves done that he needs. He has proven that he got that car to work. Slight adjustment on the weight jacker and the anti-roll bars, and he was off. And there we go, a little bit of curb as well through 1 and 2 there, Will. You said you can use that just to help the car turn through, and he is now on the back of Veseyula Olja in the 996 for 4th position.
Indeed, we have got ourselves there. Matt Cook trying to close up to Andrew Wood all of a sudden. And let's have a look at the lap gaps. Cook is closing at a rate of 1/4 of a second in that battle for 2nd place. That is how much tyre drop-off is here, Jack. And, well, at this rate, Henry Bennett, he should be on pit road whenever he needs to be at this point. But Henry Bennett is going to start thinking, okay, these guys, they're coming. And if he can stay for 20 laps without being passed, Bennett will be in the catbird seat.
He will, and if he gets if we do get another caution before he has to bring that car down onto the lane, don't forget, obviously, the number of cautions has meant that Henry Bennett has been able to save some fuel to be able to run that stint even longer. This is 77 laps now on this stint, going on to lap number 80. I reckon he pitted on caution number 2, Will, just to get a new tyres, whether he had some damage on that 007 machine, whether he needed that repair. But at the moment, he is in the lead by 2.2 seconds. And that gap, although it is coming down around 2/10 of a second, Andrew Wood is faster than Henry Bennett at the moment. It is going to take a number of laps for that to happen.
Having a look at a replay with Veseyula Olja as he works himself then down 2 positions in the number 996 Monster Energy car. But Matt Cook, let's turn our attentions back to him. And again, gaining at the rate of 1/4 of a second. RaceSpot.tv/live for live time and scoring. Get social with us at RaceSpot.tv on the Twitter machine and /RaceSpot.tv on Facebook. On board with Matt Molnar right now. Battling out with Andrew Aitken. This is for P number 7.
Yes, Matt Molnar, Andrew Aitken, 2 drivers who have done extremely well today. Andrew Aitken, in fact, is down 3 positions away he started. That's just where everyone has cycled out with those pit stops. And Veseyula Olja, in fact, is going to hold up Andrew Aitken just slightly, although he should be able to stick his nose down into turn number 1, which he is going to do. Nice and clean pass on the 996. 3 he goes. Matt Molnar going to be looking to do a very similar thing into 3 and 4 this time. Battle ahead going on as well between the 3 and the 74 of Randy Shoemaker and Randy Krosnos. The 2 Randys are on it again. Yep,
and Shoemaker lost the position, let's not forget. The same way that he gained it in the first place over Krosno through traffic. Shoemaker got the pass over Krosno just after the restart as they all worked themselves through a huge gaggle of traffic. Then Krosno repaid the favour as he made the move of the day so far. 2 drivers separated by about 2/10 on track. Gerlicher and Ollier separated by 2 tenths on track as well. Cook, though, is within 1 second now of Andrew Wood in that battle for second place.
That gap is around 8 tenths at the moment and coming down fast. Matt Cook last time around was 3 tenths of a second quicker than Andrew Wood. We'll have to wait and see what the lap times are going to be this time, because Andrew Wood has got held up out of turn number 4 by a back marker. Let's have a look. Andrew Wood last time around did a 22.393. Matt Cook is going to do a 22.189. So Matt Cook has got that car on fuel mix 1 and rich mixture, trying to close that gap down and try and take back second position, Will.
Yeah, Lucas Seville just lost a couple of places to Jan Hoffman and Timo Isinniemi by the looks of it, as we turn our attention towards back towards Matt Cook, because he works himself towards turn number 1. On board of him then, speedo graphic up on the right hand side of your screen. You can see you go up the gears into 5th gear, about 172 miles an hour. Shift down into 4th gear, 155 for the apex of the corner. That's 3 and 4 yellow.
Number 45. Oh, no, sorry. I don't know what's happened there, actually. Well, I think Jonathan Diggs might have had a problem because he has disappeared. Yes, Jonathan Diggs has gone back to the pit lane. Let's go and find out what happened to him. Time 2 strikes again by the looks of it.
On board then with Diggs. It's the curb. I said you can run over a bit of it. You can't try and diamond off the corner by just running over the curb, then overturning the wheel.
No, I think that's definitely the mistake he made there. Unfortunate to see that for Jonathan Diggs. He wasn't having the race he wanted so far, but look at this. All the leaders coming down onto the lane, including Henry Bennett. So this is going to gift it to him. And as long as he wins the race off the pit lane, Will, he's going to keep the lead. This is a good strategy call by Henry now.
Yes, but remember the fact that others around him will need to take less fuel. So Bennett, in my projection, should probably finish down in about 3rd place as he comes out of pit road. And where is he going to come out? I believe Cook is ahead of him. Cook up to the race lead. Crosno, Wood, Bennett. Then in 4th place, Jan Hoffman stays out that time by... I was 1 away. I said 3rd. He came out 4th there, Jack.
Yeah, good prediction there, actually. Well, I think Henry Bennett, I've completely forgot that he was running a stint that was about 50-55 laps longer than everyone else. So Matt Cook is going to retake your race lead. Everyone ahead of him is lapped traffic. We'll wait to see if they come down to the lane this time. If they do, Matt Cook will cycle back behind your iRacing pace car. If not, he will have lap traffic to make his way around when we restart this race.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Lights are off on top of the pace car. A couple of people then going to get their laps back. Jos van der Ven, Marshall Stanley, Jonathan Diggs are all going to go back past the pace car. They will all be at least 1 lap down, but for Robert Grosso and Johnny Garrett, they are also going to get themselves a lap back and move on to the lead lap here. Jan Hoffman elects to stay out. So he's going to bring the field back to green flag racing here at the Milwaukee Mile. Good restart there, actually, by Jan Hoffman. Towards turn number 1, they all come again. As behind, well, what we got? We got pandemonium, 3 wide in towards 2 there, Jack.
Yeah, everyone having a good battle into turn number 1 there. Looks as though the leaders are having a good fight. Jan Hoffman, of course, has managed to cycle his way back to the lead. Matt Cook will want to make quick work of him and get back up into the race lead there. Randy Crosno. Obviously, Henry Bennett cycling back to 4th there, Will. So, everyone nice and clean restart. We're back to green flag racing.
Yeah, on board Andrew Aitken, battling out on Matt Molnar. Molnar lost a little bit there in the sequence of pit stops. But Andrew Aitken, number 27 machine, he will always try and take prisoners early on a restart. As the Dario Franchitti inspired car as Cook goes to the race lead.
Nice move there on Jan Hoffman by Matt Cook. Randy Crosno is going to be next. I don't think Jan Hoffman will have much to answer to him. Randy Crosno going to stick his nose down to the inside off of turn number 4 and move done for the number 74. Going to cycle his, or is it though? They're going to drag race up to turn number 1, but I think Jan Hoffman is just going to let him have that. Randy Crosno and yellow Andrew Adair Saunders is in the wall at turn number 4.
Yeah, indeed. So we have got ourselves another yellow here at the Milwaukee Mile. Apologies for still showing you this camera. A little issue there with our camera mouse, even. So, yellow flag. This time around, it was Andrew Adair Saunders. There you can see that car on pit road. Back in a moment here on RaceWhat TV. Once again, photo finish here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? Well, that was Indy. Belle Isle coming up here. 1 lap to go until we go back to green flag racing. There are your top 8. Matt Cook, Randy Crosno, Jan Hoffman, Andrew Wood, Randy Shoemake, Henry Bennett, Andrew Aiken, and Matt Molnar. 15 drivers currently scored on the lead lap. A couple of drivers 1 lap down. Robert Grosser and Johnny Garrett. David Sistello, Jos van der Ven, Marshall Stanley scored multiple laps down, as well as Jonathan Diggs. Andrew Saunders is out of this event. We are almost ready to go green flag racing one more time at Milwaukee. Here we go. Good restart by your top 3 drivers. Hoffman elected to stay out again there, Jack. But what he has done, he's been able to hold on to that 3rd position on the restart.
He has, and his tyres are only 37 laps old, so he hasn't got to the extremes of Henry Bennett yet, of being on a 60-65 lap stint and staying out. So those tyres are still pretty fresh, actually. A little bit of side-by-side action going on behind him, almost, between Andrew Wood and Randy Shoemake. In fact, that battle is over. Randy Shoemake has got himself up into P number 4. Henry Bennett going to be looking to get himself past Andrew Wood, and Andrew Aiken is also behind Henry Bennett, looking to make quick work of Andrew Wood.
Yeah, having a look at Andrew Wood. We have got Andrew Saunders. He is out of the event. Jack, you are catching up with him.
Well, Andrew, not the day you wanted. You decided to call it a day after another incident and being 17 laps down. Obviously, Milwaukee is a tough track. Just take us through what it's like being someone who is in the mid-pack and how hard they're fighting out there.
That hard.
Sorry. Well, they are fighting very hard. It's difficult to get by and difficult to avoid some incidents early on in the race. Well, of course I was out, and all I wanted to do is just use this race as a testing session, try figuring things out, and of course, try to see how good I would have stacked up against my competitors. It would have been a lot nicer not being out of the race from the start.
And obviously, looking forward, 2 weeks' time, we're going to Detroit to Belle Isle, new circuit for the Classic IndyCar Series, new circuit for iRacing. It's being released to everyone on Tuesday. How hard do you reckon it's going to be for one of these IndyCars? Obviously, there isn't a lot of grip like we see in the DW12 and the IRA-18. The IRO5 is a completely different beast. How are you going to prepare for that race on a circuit that no one really knows?
Well, for the start, everyone should start practicing on Tuesday. I expect Belle Isle to be bumpy as well, which will increase the difficulty level. I think the best driver is not going to be the driver who is the fastest.
We got a yellow.
But the driver who's going to be the best prepared.
Well, Andrew, we'll come back to you in just a moment. Vesiula looks like he's had an issue through turn number 2. Is that curb again, Will? Just a little bit too much? And I'd probably say a little bit too early this time.
Yeah, on board then with Yessa into 1. Yeah, he's trying to diamond off the corner. He's running too much to that curve. It just steps out the car. You just get loose on it. I mean, there's a sign there that says take a spin. Oh, not literally in the middle of the race, please. Thank you very much. Back to you, Jack, with Andrew Saunders.
Well, Andrew, obviously looking forward to the rest of the season. You've probably not had the race you want here. You're going to lose a good chunk of points. Is it just a case of getting the points, finishing well, and just being able to get the best position in the championship you can now? Or are you going to be going flat out trying to get really good positions?
Considering my own pace, I was always going for the best result possible. But considering how I do not want to attack any drivers in specific, but I need to think about qualifying a little more. Do not mean driving at the front, maybe a little bit more at the rear.
And well, before we go and let you enjoy the rest of this race and also the IndyCar Grand Prix from Detroit that will be live, obviously, after we wrap up here at Milwaukee, who would you like to give a shout out to?
First of all, Logitech, Playseat, and DRE for the products I use. And I need to, even though controversial, make the shout out to Microsoft as the latest update improved the speech recognition engine, which improved my DRE experience.
And well, everyone, Andrew Adair Saunders, he is out of this race today at Milwaukee. He's joined us for a quick chat, and we're going to go back to cover the caution and back to green in a few laps' time.
Look, guys, despite the fact we've had a couple of commercials and a couple of cautions today, there's still going to be less commercials than the final Grand Prix of IndyCar on ABC. Of course, they got Formula One. We mean IndyCar right now. It'll be the last broadcast on ABC for the foreseeable future. They've had the Indy 500 since who knows when. Anna Bestwick, Eddie Cheever, Scott Goodyear with the call on that one when there's not commercials going on, Jack.
Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to that, I must admit. IndyCar is a series that over the last couple of years, and especially since meeting you, Will, I've got into heavily. And I must say, thank you, BT Sport, for not showing all of the adverts.
Yeah, BT Sport in the UK, they will show every green flag lap live. And in homage then to the last ever IndyCar race on ABC, let's bring it back to green with this. Matt Cook continues to lead the way. Good restart. We're showing you the time right now because there's 51 minutes remaining in this event. Cook leads past the line as we are currently on lap number 113 of 225. We've just passed halfway distance there.
Yeah, last lap was halfway distance, and we are halfway in the time. If we go green to the end, we will probably just about make about 220 laps, Will, although I cannot see it going green all the way to the end. Bearing in mind that last caution, I think, is caution number 10. I think that one, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. 10th caution of the day over the 114 laps we've had. We've not had a green flag run today of more than about 17 laps. You can still get social with us, though, on social media. At RaceSpot TV on the Twitter machine, /RaceSpot TV on the Facebook. Just don't go clicking any links and deciding whether or not you're going to be, what your favourite route vegetable is. I think there's a major bank in the UK talking about that one. Jan Hoffman, side by side, he's got himself Matt Molnar down to the inside. Hoffman's been running that outside line all day. He almost looked to say he's going to have momentum, couldn't have it though, on the centre of turn number 3 and 4.
Yeah, he was trying to defend using the outside line, stopping Matt Molnar getting up to high into the wall off of turn number 4. He's going to do it again to Henry Bennett, although I think his tyres might be starting to show some age. They are 52.5 laps old now. Everyone around him has only got laps which are about 30 laps, or tyres which are about 30 laps old now, Will. So he is going to start to be struggling for grip in that 05 machine, but he is doing well. Going on in 8th position after starting 21st, 117 laps ago.
Yeah, Hans Pitkanen is the next driver, closing in on Jan Hoffman as the gap is 4 tenths per second. We normally show you the lap time difference, but because Hoffman's been involved in battles every single lap, it won't really be indicative. Out front, it's a Banshee Aero X 1-2 between Matt Cook and Randy Crosno, as the gap is 1 second between them. The two Randys continue to battle for second place, so Crosno in second, Randy Shoemaker in third.
Yeah, Randy versus Randy. This battle has been going on more or less all the race since we threw that green flag almost over an hour ago. Randy Shoemaker and Randy Crosno have both been strong. Randy Crosno using the bit of the curve, but he can use through turn number 1 and 2 without ending up yourself in a spin and in a wall. Randy Shoemaker is going to be trying to challenge, although I have a feeling he might just be, and in fact, yes, yellow. Jonathan Diggs is in the wall at turn number 2.
Yep, so that is caution number 11 today. Jonathan Diggs in the wall. We'll see whether we can find you a replay of that one. That's going to come up for you right about now on board with Jonathan Diggs. Well, there we are. Caution number 11 underway here today. Well, it's an interesting one because 31 laps into a stint. Do they come in? Do they stay out? It looks like they're all going to have to stay out. Diggs is actually waiting to try and bring that car towards pit road. And because of that, no one can come on pit road, Jack. They're going to get black flagged.
Yeah, there was a little bit of contact as well between Jonathan Diggs and another driver. I'm trying to find out who that was. That was Hans Pitkinen. Hans Pitkinen was trying to get his way down onto the pit lane, and he crossed that hatching that you probably aren't meant to cross. That could give you an unsafe pit entry there, sorry, Will, which means that that could also inflict him. But Jonathan Diggs does now have front wing damage.
Yeah, indeed. So that is the situation. Pitkinen back out on track, though, getting that wing repair. 6.7 second pit stop for him. Here's a look at your top 8 along the bottom of your screen. Matt Cook leads away over Randy Crosno. Randy Shoemaker in third. Andrew Aitken fourth. Andrew Wood in fifth. Matt Molnar, Henry Bennett, and Jan Hoffman. That is how things stand right now. We might as well take a moment to have a look at what is going to be going on in the remainder of the Classic IndyCar Series this season. And, well, next time we are going to be here, it'll be round number 7 of the championship. That will be the Tenneco Automotive Grand Prix of Detroit. And then after that, we head ourselves for another short oval. That will be Richmond International Raceway at night. The reason why I say night, the track is far more grip at night compared to day, Jack.
Yeah, it does. And also, Richmond is shorter than Milwaukee. It's only, I believe it's about 3/4 of a mile, isn't it, Will?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. So, Richmond is going to be a short track. And then after that, it's a slightly different beast that we're going to. And it's going to be 500 miles at the Tricky Triangle.
Oh, yeah, the Tricky Triangle. Pocono 500. That will be on the 12th of August here. We're going to have a freeway start as well. I believe I know someone who might be the pace car driver for that one. And then we've got ourselves to round off the season a look at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. That will be on the 26th of August. The Chicagoland Speedway, famous, of course, in IndyCar for those fantastically close finishes, and also a couple of people flipping over at the line. We're going to go to Silverstone for the Daily Express Indy Silverstone race from 1978. Let's not say anything about the Daily Express in this broadcast, Jack. And then we finish it off at Phillip Island for the Honda Indy 300.
Yeah, Phillip Island is a very good place to finish off the season. It's a challenging circuit built on the edge of a cliff about 2 hours drive from Melbourne. Obviously, the season opener yesterday for the International GT3 Championship, a race which Luis Paulo Gallon managed to take over his teammate Fazan El Narbi using pit strategy, and something which drivers could use here today to take the win, Will.
Yeah, indeed. So lap number 123 out of 225. Comes the time, 45 minutes remaining. Our timing and scoring graphics are not yet telling us that we won't complete the race in time. But I believe we are getting very close to that one. However, the pace car is on towards pit road, and we're ready to go green once again at the Milwaukee Mile. Caution number 11 of the day is complete. Bennett, Gerlicher side by side. A lot of lap traffic staying higher then through turn number 1.
Yeah, it looks like the lap traffic is just trying to get themselves out of the way. 2x2, too deep. That is involving lap traffic and Henry Bennett. Henry Bennett is going to be left on the high line. Although Matt Melnar, who is the next driver for Henry Bennett's chase down, is already nearly into turn 1. So Henry Bennett has a little bit of work to do to get himself up into that. Actually, in fact, Henry Bennett has dropped a lot of positions, sorry. Pardon me on that one. Mike Gerlicher, yes, he had a good start. Henry Bennett, what went wrong for him?
All the way down into P number 10. Let's try and have a look back at that one, if we can, on board with Henry Bennett. So this is a restart for Bennett in the 07 machine. That pace car is going to turn itself on towards pit road now. And here's a look then at the 007 car. Just very slow. He bogs himself down. I think he started in second gear then, just to try and not give himself too many issues in terms of tyres. I just want to have a look back. It's going to take us a second here. So he does start in first gear, but he's just very slow onto the throttle pedal there, Jack.
I think he's just being cautious, having flashbacks to his moments at Homestead, Miami, where he managed to spin it into the wall on the race start. He's managed to make his way up into 8th position, getting past Timo Yemi this time. So he is starting to work his way back up. Eyes forward to Mike Gerlicher in the number 31 machine, about 2 seconds up the road. But Henry Bennett, yes, he did have an extremely slow restart. And we have another caution, number 2, Lucas Laville. Heavy damage to the left-hand side of his car.
Yep, replay coming up for that one. On board with the Perrier machine. Oh, there's dicing ahead of him. The wheel comes in towards turn number 1. Slows it down as he tries to avoid hitting the car in front. The back end just steps out.
And Jonathan Diggs was involved in that one as well. He tried to go up high to go and avoid Lucas and just was not high enough. There was a third car involved. That was Marshall Stanley. Marshall Stanley going onto the inside wall on the exit of turn number 2. The number 25 machine has some very heavy damage. 3-car pile-up started by Lucas Laville, just having a little bit of a slip out on the rear end. Jonathan Diggs and Marshall Stanley had nowhere to go to avoid that one.
Okay, 12th caution of the day here at the Milwaukee Mile. Everyone coming in this time. Question's going to be, who is going to get out first? Cook, Crosno, Shoemake. There are your top 3 coming in. They're going to be your top 3 there on your screen. Aitken right behind them. Is that no tyres? No, there's tyres for everyone. And they're going to come out the way they came in. Cook, Crosno, Shoemake, Aitken, Molnar. 2 people stayed out there. And that was Hans Pickenen and Carson Broadway. Reason why? They pitted the previous caution, Jack.
Yeah, they're using strategy to their advantage to cycle themselves up to the front of the field. And Carson Broadway and Hans Pickenen have made a good choice. A lot of lap traffic in with that as well. But Matt Cook, he's going to be 3rd on the timing screens, but he's going to be about 6 cars back from the pace car.
Welcome back then to the Milwaukee Mile. Hans Pitkanen is your new race leader as the lights are off on top of the iRacing pace car. Carson Bodaway is another driver that stayed out. So Matt Cook, Randy Crosney, Randy Shoemake, Andrew Aiken, Matt Molnar. We're going to have a little bit of work to do to try and retake this leading duo. But as I said, they've only done 11 and 10 laps respectively, Pitkanen and Bodaway, on this set of tyres, but they haven't led a restart here today. From the rear of Pitkanen then, caution number 12 in the books. Let's go racing once again. Good restart, but a lot of drivers affected by a lot of traffic on track right now. Look at Shoemake right now as he's trying to battle out with Mona. Mona, fantastic restart. Almost though going into the side. Oh, Shoemake into one.
He almost made contact, almost went into the back of it. Looked like Matt Molnar in the number 29 as well, but I think he's managed to clear that. Randy Crosno getting a good start, but Randy Shoemake having the restart of the dreams. He's moved himself up into position number 5. A little bit of lap traffic ahead of these guys, but Hans Pitkanen already got a 1.4 second advantage over Carsten Brodvey, although that might not last for very long because here comes Matt Cook trying to get his way past the number 35 machine. We've got a yellow as well. Jos van der Ven is going to be slow through 1 and 2.
13th caution of the day here, and let's have a replay on board of Jos van der Ven.
Looks like Mike Gerlicher, was caught up in that one. A little bit of contact between those two has sent Jos van der Ven up high into the wall of turn number 2. No one else got involved in that one, but Mike Gerlicher carries on with minimal damage to that 31 machine.
Yeah, we'll be back in a moment here on Racespot TV and on iRacing Live.
I definitely am. I missed last night's because I was working, so I've only seen the results, and I'm hoping that race number 2 tonight is going to be just as good. It's going to be about 20 minutes or the green flag will fly about 20 minutes after we've wrapped up here. Yeah, I think that's good for them, and it's good looking forward for the rest of the season for these guys. Obviously, the month of May is over. We have now ticked over into June, which means that the 24 hours of Le Mans is not far away from us. But yeah, Detroit is a completely different beast to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Yeah, looks like there might have been a little bit of contact. In fact, actually, that one was started by Randy Shoemake. He ran into the back of Randy Krosno in the 74, and I just don't think Matt Molnar expected to come over, or expected him to come over so fast. No one else involved in that one, but Matt Molnar going to be cycled back to the rear of your field now, Will. Yeah, it definitely was. I don't think Matt Molnar had really had much to do. He's brought that number 29 machine down onto the pit lane, get himself back out. He has stayed on the lead lap, so he is just going to be back to the rear of your field. I've seen the 5 laps that matter, which will be the final 5 laps. And yeah, Gregor Hutu showing why he's still one of the best sim racers in the world, I'd say, and why he is so dominant at Watkins Glen. I think he still has won every round of that series at that track, right? We've got some great content coming up for everyone on the service. Obviously, the first one to announce, and it was completely unexpected, or we kind of knew it was coming, was Belle Isle, obviously where the IndyCar series is this weekend. Out of the blue, a couple of days later, came the Porsche 919 RSR, or 911 RSR, sorry. Everyone who I know is very excited for that. And also, the Subaru Rallycross car is coming as well. What a 3 great additions that is coming on Tuesday. Yeah, Cook 3 wide as well, just behind, going for a couple of back markers as well. Looked like Randy Crosno, Andrew Aitken was involved in that one too. Oh, sorry, Randy Crosno and Andrew Wood. They were going to go 3 wide down into turn 1 just to get past some traffic. But Matt Cook making a good restart, getting himself past Robert Grosser. He is a couple of, or 1 lap down at the moment. He has managed to cycle himself a little bit further up the field now. And Matt Cook eyes forward to Hans Pitkin, and look at that, how much ground he's already gained through 1 and 2. Matt Cook, nice move off of turn number 4, although Hans Pitkin is not going to let her have it easy, although he's just going to give up the position in turn number 1. Carsten Brovey, Randy Shoemake, they're going to be having a little bit of a scrap, a little bit further behind. Randy Shoemake going to look down to the inside into turn number 2. Is he, oh, 3, sorry, is he going to get the move done? I think he is. Carsten Brovey hasn't got much to answer in that number 35 machine. Randy Crosno getting his way past some back markers, although his next target will be Carsten Brovey. Yeah, I think that was an easy pass there. He knew that as soon as Brovey got high on turn number 1 and he stuck his nose down the inside, they didn't have much to answer. Robert Gross or Hans Pitkin, and in fact, actually, Robert Gross is just trying to get his way past Hans. I wonder whether Hans is starting to struggle on his tyres. They are 30 laps old now, although they haven't even reached half of their tyre life. No, if you haven't got enough downforce going over those wings, those tyres are not going to have the grip they need to turn in at the speeds. Even that's with downforce cars, the more speed you have, the more downforce you get, and the more grip you're going to get. It's a very weird phenomenon to drive, Will, and it's something that I've never been able to get my head around. Mike Gerlicher was also involved in that incident off of turn number 4. He had nowhere to go to avoid Andrew Wood. Mike Gerlicher, that's not the first time that's happened to him today.
Okay, 15 cautions, almost going to be scored in the books. We are working on lap number 155 out of 225 here. But, Jack, we are not going to make it to the end of the event in terms of laps. It's now a timed race, and that is why no one's coming on towards pit road, even though they had 25 laps in a set of tyres.
Yeah, I think everyone now is going to be doing it for time. We cannot get 225 laps in the time that is remaining and to make the full race distance. So Matt Cook and all the other leaders are now going to be looking to get to the race end on time, and it's going to be a case of run this tank dry and then just take one more set of tyres. That'll get you to the end.
Randy Crosno just had a miserable restart. Let's have a second look at that. One car passed. And then he's going to have a couple more. And Randy had to be careful because he didn't have the entry speed he had in towards turn number 1. He basically then had to be more careful through that first corner. He's lost the position to Carson Bodaway, although he's just gained that back as they work themselves through corner number 3 and 4. And now Andrew Aitken is versing Carson Bodaway for position in towards 1. That was close there. Aitken now into your top 5. He's come slowly, but he's in the top 5 when it matters here, Jack.
Yeah, nice moves from both of them. Andrew Aitken, Carson Brophy just using, Andrew Aitken, Randy Crosno using their advantage that they needed. Andrew Aitken now is going to be looking to get past Randy Crosno. Those guys, is this going to be the panel for P number 4? Battle for P number 2 as well. Randy Shoemake, Hans Pickenen. That is going on, but Matt Cook, no surprise, he's robbed off into the distance. We're going to car slow the 058 on turn 1.
Yep, the 058 machine then slowed down. That is David Costello. Put the car back in towards pit road. Caution number 16. And I tell you one thing that is going to help, that is Matt Mona, because he was about to be swamped.
Yeah, he was, and I think that's come out just at the right time. Looks as though there was a little bit of contact between Johnny Garrett and David Costello, and that is why David Costello ended up in the safer barrier on the exit of turn 1 into turn number 2, which of course is just one course. But yes, Matt Cook, he's going to continue to lead this, and Randy Crosno, that came out at the perfect time.
Yep. So, we have got 160 laps scored complete here today. Technically, there are 66 laps to go. We cannot complete the distance in time. I have just done some calculations as well. These guys do not need to come onto pit road for fuel. They are good to go to the end of the race for that. The only people that's going to come in, we have got one taker on pit road. That is Jan Hoffman, is if you want some very, very fresh tyres.
Yeah, it looks as though that is going to be the case for most of these drivers. Henry Bennett is the only person who I've seen who's done a stint over about 65 laps today. So here we've seen cars can go to 80 laps, and if we keep getting cautions like this, we might even be able to see a 100 lap stint from someone. But I don't think we're going to be, well, we can't complete 100 laps anyway. Yeah. But it's a case of these guys can now run to the end, so they just have to look after those tyres. This is another heat cycle that they have to survive. Running around at 55 miles an hour, they're going to get extremely cold.
Tell you what, I've not done a Race What TV fan immersion on the caution before. Let's do that one for the first time. Pace car about to come towards pit road. 17 minutes worth of racing. That will be a maximum of about 50 laps here at the Milwaukee Mile. But the pace car is in. And we go green. Krosno, again bad restart by him. And this time it's been overtaken by Andrew Aitken in towards one, Jack.
Yeah, man, Andrew Aitken managed to get past and get an advantage over Randy that leaves him in the clutches of Matt Molnar. Henry Bennett as well is within this, but he has to get around Sasha Lamp, who is one lap down in the number 42 Talk Freak Racing Machine. But Henry Bennett, I'm sure there won't be any stretch of his talents. So, Matt Molnar, Randy Krosno, this battle goes on again. Matt Molnar, you can see the difference in lines those two are taking. The number 25 much wider off of turn number 2, coming into turn number 3. Again, slightly different line. Randy Krosno going to go a little bit tighter, whether that's just the tyres and the amount of grip that these guys have got left in those tyres. Battle going on ahead for P number 2, Randy Shoemake versus Hans Pickenen, and Randy really wants to get past Hans to go and challenge Matt Cook, who continues to lead.
Yeah, as Pickenen does have the advantage still for the time being on board with the driver of Randy Shoemake. Exit of corner number 4 down towards turn number 1. They come again. I'm just going to show you something else in a moment. This is Henry Bennett versus Matt Molnar going on right now, and that is with P number 6 on track there, Jack.
Yes, it certainly is. Sasha Lamp is still in the middle of those two guys. Matt Molnar has dropped back a little bit from Randy Krosno, who's on this tail behind Hans Pickenen for P number 2. Randy Shoemake is going to be the first driver to try and get their way past. He's not close enough into 1 and 2 this time to get the move done. Andrew Aitken sitting behind in 4th position. At the moment, these guys have been running line astern since the restart, not been able to get a move done. Hans Pickenen, he's up into the wall into turn number 3. Up into that safe barrier. Something went wrong in that car. We stay green for now. I think we've just avoided a caution there.
Yeah, we do. So Hans Pickenen is out of this event for the time being. There's your moves and shakers today. Pickenen was up 6 places. Bennett, Ollia, Hoffman, they're your biggest movers in the field today. As we do remain green. Thank you for that one. Ollia right now, currently in P number 8, hunting down Jan Hoffman for 7th. But let's not forget, Hoffman has got the freshest tyres almost anyone in the field, apart from Carson Broadway.
Vasily Ollia is also your biggest mover and shaker in your field today. He is up 17 positions on where he started. He started in P number 25, currently P number 8, now P number 9, because Carsten Brovey, no, sorry, that's a back marker. I think that's Andrew Wood trying to make up a few positions. So Vasily Ollia does hold 8th, pardon me, but he is your biggest mover and shaker so far today. Started 25th, currently 8th on the racetrack. Good day for him there, Will.
Randy Shoemake, Andrew Aitken. Aitken likes to peak late on in a race, just like you go on when you need to. Krosno has been able to dispose of Molnar for the time being, and Krosno's on the rear of Andrew Aitken. But Aitken versus Shoemake side by side, almost in towards turn 1. Aitken pushes wide. This is going to allow maybe Krosno to have a little bit of a move in towards 3 and 4, but Krosno isn't close enough. Meanwhile, Matt Cook has driven away 2 seconds ahead right now.
Yeah, Matt Cook has used that blunder on the restart for other drivers to his advantage. Gap now 2.17 seconds. This battle behind is helping Matt Cook get away. If we go green to the end, he's in a good position to just run it home. These guys behind are still battling. Randy Krosno, Andrew Aitken, Randy Shoemake for P number 2. Matt Molnar has dropped off the back a little bit, and Henry Bennett has not been able to get round Sasha Lamp in the number 42. So at the moment, Matt Molnar hasn't got any challenge from behind. He's just looking ahead, waiting to see if anything will happen. Randy Krosno going to go down to the inside on the number 27 of Andrew Aitken. Going to go side by side into turn number 3 and 4. Is he going to be able to get the move done? Not sure whether he is. Krosno down to the inside. He's got the move done, and Andrew Aitken's just left high and dry.
Yep, so Aitken down into 4th place. Krosno now is charging. And once again, it's that battle between the two Randys. Randy Shoemake, number 3 machine, and Randy Krosno in the number 74. Mr. Ollia, by the way, has come on towards pit road in the 996. That's going to basically put him down as one of the last runners in your field. I don't know if he hit the wall, whether he's just low on fuel, but Krosno versus Shoemake, that's your battle for P number 2 as it stands. And Ollia, well, yeah, it looks like he has got damage to that car because he's still on pit road. So something happened to him Let's try and see if we can get ourselves a quick replay of that one for you. So we're on board right now with the 996 car. Ollie, have you seen anything at all there, Jack?
I haven't, although I can say he's had a 22.6 second stop, which would say to me that he has been repairing damage. Caution again.
Yep.
He's round.
Okay, so to start off with earlier, what happened is he actually had an incident on the exit of turn number 2. So we're going to just pause it for you right now. You just see he's going to push to the right, and there, he hits the wall down on the exit of turn number 2. That's what damages the suspension. Then what's going to happen is he's going to cause another caution. Let's have a replay then as he comes back out onto track.
Looks as though something we haven't mentioned yet today, Will. The 9,000 RPM kill switch.
Yeah, and that's always an issue. As we're going to have a replay on board then with Ollie. Let's actually see. We go on cockpit mode for him. Cockpit cam, let's show you what happened. He doesn't even hit 9,000 RPM. He basically was only doing 6,700. He was in second gear. That car was just toasted. He does take out a couple of drivers there as well. Now I'm having a look again. I believe that might have been, by the way, he might have been involved. Let's have a look at a replay here from up above. You can just see, if you just slow the camera down for you, that was the number 68 machine, who was the first driver involved in that one, who just avoids it. But then, look at that. It is the Logical Vortex Sim Racing number 1 machine of Robert Grosser who gets tagged. And then I think there's going to be a second one. Yeah, that's the number 35 car involved as well. That was Carson Broadway, so I was right with my liveries for once.
Yeah, Carsten Broadway didn't really have anywhere he could go. By the time he saw Vessi Olia going down towards the bottom of the racetrack, he had no way of avoiding. He did try and get down towards the inside just to try and give a little bit more room, but no, straight into the side pod of the 996, and day over as well for Carsten. That car has got a lot of damage, although I think he might have had it repaired now, Will.
Yeah, indeed so. Let's have a look at your top 8 then. 9 minutes remaining in this event. Matt Cook leading over Randy Shoemaker, Randy Crosney third, Andrew Aitken in fourth, Matt Molnar, Henry Bennett, Timo Isinyemi, and Jan Hoffman round out your field. We are on lap number 180 of 225 officially. That would mean that we have 45 laps to go. There's no way you need 45 laps though in 9 minutes. So this race is going to run to time here in the Classic IndyCar Series. In 2 weeks, however, we are gonna be here. Classic IndyCar Series Grand Prix at Belle Isle. 2 weeks time here on RaceSpot TV and on iRacing Live. And for Matt Cook, he's got 8 minutes to hold on to that race lead, Jack.
Yeah, he's just got to hold on for it for another 8 minutes. He's been at the front of this field for the majority of this race so far today, Will. He hasn't got much further to go. All he needs to do, keep it nice and clean on this restart, and hopefully that will be day done for Matt.
Caution number 17 then, going to be scored in the books here in the Classic IndyCar Series. Cook from Shoemaker from Crosno. We're going to go on board with Crosno for this restart. Green flag in the air. Another slowish start then by Crosno. And he's got Aitken back down to his inside in 1.
Yeah, it just looks as though Randy Krosno is taking a little bit more caution on the restarts now. He was exceptionally slower than everyone else. Andrew Aitken taking good advantage to that one. Same with Matt Molnar. Randy Krosno has gone from P3 to P5 on that restart, and he is left in the clutches of Henry Bennett, your championship leader.
Yep, so Matt Molnar then is hunting down Andrew Aitken in what is the battle for third place on track right now. Aitken's had good restarts. In fact, Aitken isn't that far behind Randy Shoemake as we come down to under 7 minutes to go. Sasha Lamb also side by side for a moment with Timo Isinyemi. Let's go on board with Andrew Aitken. The tyres seem to be falling away for a bit. Aitken can stay, but he can't close to Shoemake.
No, I don't think he can. A little bit of battling going on further behind between Henry Bennett and Randy Krosno. Henry Bennett wants to get past. I think Krosno might be starting to struggle on his tyres, Will, because he doesn't look as confident through the corners as he was, and that could explain the slow restarts.
Yeah, and this will give Henry Bennett a little bit of an opportunity right now as they work through 1 and 2. 6 minutes remaining in this event as we just have a look at the gaps there between Henry Bennett and Randy Krosno over the last couple of laps, because Krosno is currently the sitting duck. Bennett gained 4 tenths per second over 3 laps there, although he did lose a bit of time. Now he's in that dirty air behind. Shoemake, just to let you know, has not allowed Matt Cook to really get away here. He is losing time, but he's not losing much. Shoemake might still have one last charge in him.
He might just have one last charge. He hasn't got long to do it. Although this time around, or last time around, he was faster than Matt Cook on that lap. Fastest lap so far last time around for lap 186. The lap 187 now going to be in the books in a few seconds time. Randy Shoemake, he is within half a second, Will. He has still got a chance, but he needs to get going because it might take him a few laps to get the pass done.
Yeah, Krosno versus Molnar. That one is closed up a little bit. The gap is 1/10 of a second between the two of them. Molnar has been fantastic here today. As well, we've got a vote after this race for our driver of the day. Cook, Shoemake, Aitken, Molnar, and Krosno all have the opportunity, I would say, on that one. But they cross the start-finish line again. Less than 5 minutes to go. Krosno back into the groove. He looks down to the inside, catches the curb. That'll slow drivers around behind him, and Krosno able to hold on. Desperation mode kicking in for some drivers then. As we know now, a caution from here on in would pretty much end it.
Yes, it would. A caution from now. We would probably finish under the caution or have a one-lap dash. And of course, our driver of the day wins a pro version of Joel Real Timing, an app which every iRacer should have in their depository. And one of the drivers who cannot win it, Will, is Matt Cook, because he won it at Indianapolis for having the least incident points. I believe he didn't even get 1.
Yeah, that's incredible there for Matt Cook. As you just zoom in on Henry Bennett in the 6th place. He's hunting. He's waiting. He's wondering whether anything will happen. Sasha Lamb is behind Johnny Garrett right now. Excellent turn number 2. Close to the wall there for Sasha Lamb.
Yeah, Johnny Garrett is going to try and get that one more position. Sasha Lamb cannot get any higher than 9th because he is 1 lap down. So the highest anyone or the drivers of Sasha Lamb, Johnny Garrett, Robert Grosser and Carson Brovey can get is 9th position. Johnny Garrett wants that probably more than anyone. Randy Shoemake has dropped off the back of Matt Cook just a little bit now. Last time around, Matt Cook was faster. Gap now 9/10 of a second. Randy Krosno, Matt Molnar. That battle's still going on though, and I think that one's going to go right down to the wire.
Yeah, Krosno's been able to get himself back past Matt Molnar. We're just seeing a look there on the replay. So Molnar back down into P number 5. Krosno back up into P number 4. But it looks as though we could have a more subdued end to this race where we have got Bennett and Molnar. They are scrapping it out for P5.
Yeah, Bennett has definitely been trying to get past Matt Molnar for a few laps now since that final restart. We are coming down into the final couple of minutes in this race now, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to get very intense, especially in the mid-pack. This battle for P number 5. We've got a caution. This is going to end this race now.
Sasha Lamb, caution number 18 of the day. Replay coming up for you now. Hi, Curb. We meet again.
Yeah, I was then thinking that.
So, Matt Cook then is going to be your winner here at the Milwaukee Mile. We will not be able to get any more laps done under green. Matt Cook is going to be your winner. We will be back with your race results in a moment. Well, welcome back. Matt Cook, 20 seconds away from victory. They might have to do one more pace lap. They got to 197 laps, the 225 lap distance here today. Pace car just easing through corner number 3 right now. We have to wait until the end just to give you the results. Otherwise, timing and scoring will get confused. We're down to 0. The next flag will be white here. And then we are going to wrap this race up here at the Milwaukee Mile. Don't forget, of course, IndyCar on ABC for the final time. It's a second duel at Detroit. That will be on BT Sport. I think it's BT Sport 2 it will be on in just a few moments' time. But yeah, there we are. Lights are officially out on the pace car, by the way. It's officially showing us as lap number 198 or 225, but we should, Jack, see the checkered flag come out this time by.
We should indeed, and if we don't, it means we have a 1 lap dash to the end. Although if the time has now ticked over to 0, we will be seeing the checkered flag this time. Good run by Matt Cook. He dominated this race, and yes, I must say he is a deserved winner, but we also have to decide our driver of the day.
Oh, I would have said Randy Crosno, but his starts haven't been that good. Actually, I mean, he did make the best pass of the day here today, but Randy Shoemaker, I think, has been a more kind of complete driver over the course of this one. Matt Molnar as well has had a couple of good ones. Andrew Aitken again does what Andrew Aitken does and comes home at the end, but it will be Matt Cook who crosses the start-finish line, and he will be your winner here at the Milwaukee Mile. Speed it up to slow it down. You don't want to repeat on Michael Schumacher. Was it 2000 and something? 2010, I think it was, at Monaco.
My mind doesn't go that far back, unfortunately. Young mind. I would have been 9 years old when that happened.
Ah, but yeah, Matt Cook is your winner here today. We'll run through your full results in just 1 moment's time. But fantastic victory there. Matt Cook is your winner. Let's see. Is he going to do the donuts? He's going to slow it down anyway. Come on, Matt. You can do better than that. There we are. Donuts for Matt Cook. Number 46, Banshee Aero X Machine, claiming victory here at the Milwaukee Mile. And we are now going to have a look through your final race results. Well, at the end of that one, it was the driver of Matt Cook who claims victory over Randy Shoemake, Andrew Aiken in third, Randy Crossley in fourth place, and Matt Molnar rounds out your top five. Henry Bennett, P number 6, Jan Hoffman in 7th place, Timo Isinyemi in the 8th position, Johnny Guerrett in 9th, and then Robert Grosser rounds out your top 10. Behind, you can see the results are as follows. There's only, by the way, 8 drivers finished on the lead lap. Carson Bodaway and Sasha Lamb finished the race 1 lap down. Andrew Wood in 13th. Then, Ivesa Yulia Olia in 14th place. Hans Pitkinen in 15th. David Sistello, Mike Gerdecker, Jos van der Ven, Lucas Seville, and Marshall Stanley all out of this event. As was Jonathan Diggs, Andrew Edo Saunders, Todd Novistad, Noel McBride, Adam Shipstone, Jack Turner, and Andreas Warner. 18 cautions here to go. Sorry, 18 cautions here today in this event, Jack. It's been a bit of a messy one, but we got there in the end, and Matt Cook is your winner.
If you persevere something, one day you'll get it done. And I think that's what people just had to do with the Milwaukee Mile here today. It was an interesting race. The green flag racing that we had was intense and close. And I think it was a shame to see the amount of cautions that we did. But it's something that a lot of drivers will now go away from this event and go, right, what can I improve on my driving and what I did today to avoid that happening in the future?
Yeah, of course. The next time we're on the Classic IndyCar Series on Racesport TV, it will be on a road course, the Belle Isle in Detroit. Now, the thing about that one is it's a very bumpy racetrack, so a lot of drivers are going to have to prepare for that one. But then after that, we are going back to another short oval. That's Richmond. It's going to be under the lights. That's going to be interesting and important. But apart from that, I think a lot of people are thinking, okay, what do we have to do to make sure we survive at Richmond?
Richmond is going to be a tricky track because it's even shorter, and if we get the grids that we get here today, it's going to be very congested, especially for the leaders in traffic. Going to be interesting to see how they deal with that one. I think also another thing to point out with Detroit is it's going to be very bumpy, so you're going to need a very aggressive car setup to make sure the car can deal with the bumps and the tyres can last more than around 10-15 laps. Detroit is going to be interesting. No one knows what is to be expected from that circuit, and everyone is going to be going in blind in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, indeed. So, of course, you can catch that one here on Racesport TV and on iRacing Live. We will have a couple of drivers to talk to in just one moment's time. We're just filling a little bit of airtime, shall we say, to ensure we give them enough time to come in for that one. But let's sort out this first issue. Driver of the day, Jack. I'm going to leave it to you again.
Oh, this is going to be a tricky decision. A lot of the front runners did do very well, and I would actually say that one of the drivers that stood out to me and we didn't say much about, Will, is Jan Hoffman. He did lead some laps. He started 21st and he finished 7th. His strategy was perfect, and it just played out for him. He's got a good points haul, and he showed to have potential going into the rest of the season. So, Jan Hoffman, you're my driver of the day.
And as a consequence of that, Jan Hoffman gets himself a free Joe Real Timing Pro Key for his efforts here today. Let's have a couple of interviews, Shaq. You have got the driver of Randy Shoemake here.
Oh dear. That's frustrating.
Randy, first of all, congratulations. You finished 2nd here today, just 0.6 of a second behind Matt Cook. Obviously, one thing that we've concentrated on quite a lot in the broadcast, and we can't really avoid it, is the amount of cautions that we had today. Just take us through as a driver how hard that is to deal with, because obviously you've got to take the tyres through the heat cycles, so you've got to look after the tyres under green flag running.
Yes, Jack, that was extremely difficult, like you said, but we are so thankful. Matt did a fantastic job of preparation, as you can see with our 1 through 4 finish, and we let him make the calls on tires, fuel. The three of us in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th just followed his lead, and everything worked out beautifully. He did such a great job of preparation for us.
And well, 2 weeks' time, we're going from the Milwaukee Mile to a completely different kettle of fish. Belle Isle at Detroit. Obviously, it's a street circuit. First time we've ever had a street circuit on iRacing, and the first time that you guys are going to be trialling out the IndyCar on Tuesday around that circuit. That's going to be quite a different kettle of fish. What challenges are you expecting going forwards for round number 7?
Road courses always provide me a great deal of challenge. I am not equal to the drivers in this league on those. I try and not get in their way, run as quick as I can. I'm eager to learn and looking forward to all the assistance with the new AeroX team and what they can provide and help out with.
And obviously, going forward to the rest of the season, hopefully going to get a few more good finishes, maybe a win at some point.
That would be nice. Lucas Laville has been so supportive of saying I was going to get to a podium. I said, every time you say that, you're losing credibility with us, but it finally did come through, and I want to thank him and Robert for their good wishes and encouragement.
And well, before we go and let you finish your podium with your team, who would you like to thank today?
We have to obviously thank Mac for such excellent preparation, Randy Krosno for choosing and putting on the team. We're glad to welcome Andrew to the team. Joe Real Timing, Logical, your broadcasts are fantastic, and we certainly appreciate all that you do for us.
And well, ladies and gentlemen, there is your second place finisher today, Randy Shoemake in the number 3 machine. Back to you, Will.
Yeah, indeed. So we're going to have a chat with Randy Krosno in just one moment's time. But the battles between Shoemake and Krosno today have been fantastic to watch, Jack.
They have, and I think Randy versus Randy, and as they're both in here, I'm going to congratulate you both on having such close battles and not actually making any contact. They were awesome to watch and provide some awesome entertainment for us.
Yeah, and you actually are now going to talk from one Randy to another. You have got Randy Krosno.
I do indeed. And Randy, first of all, congratulations. First run in the Classic IndyCar Series with AeroX. And what are you going to be able to take out of this going into the rest of the season?
Well, first of all, I knew it was going to be a lot of fun. It was just a learning experience. Thank goodness Matt Cook is with us, taking us through, getting us all set up with not just the car, but, strategy and all that other good stuff. So big kudos to him. Really happy Robert Grosser put this league together. I should have joined it a few years ago. He's been a friend for a long time. So it was fun racing in this race. So I'm looking forward to doing another one.
And obviously, looking forward, I've asked Randy Shoemake the same thing. I'm going to ask you the same thing. Belle Isle. First of all, what challenges do you expect? And also, how excited are you?
Well, I'm really excited, but the challenges I contemplate are if my mom gives me enough money so I can buy the new track. All joking aside, no, I'm looking forward to it. Learning a new track, as old as I am, is going to take a little bit of while of, trial and error. So I am looking forward to that challenge, though. It'll be fun.
And obviously, before we go and let you celebrate with AeroX and get ready for 2 weeks' time at Belle Isle, who would you like to give a shout out to?
Probably my good buddy in the booth there, Will Vincent.
Hey, Randy.
Back in the day. Hey, Will. Back in the day, I started with Team Afterburn and worked with Will quite a bit, and it's just been a lot of fun. So it's nice to see his career taking off as a broadcaster and doing so well. So I'd like to thank him, my mom, my teammates, and of course, Light.
And well, just sharing the love for Will Vincent. And there you go, Randy Krosno finished P number 4 today on his debut in the Classic IndyCar Series.
Yeah, that's almost all we've got time for here tonight from the Milwaukee Mile. We all know you're going to turn on to ABC or BT Sport or ESPN Player, etc. to watch the second duel in Detroit. Want to give a shout out to Iswan Balau, TrackCams22.com, Andres Warner and One Design, the official graphics partner of RaceSpot TV, Simon Grossman, Aptioneering.com, Nick Fitton for RaceSpot TV, live timing and scoring. The Classic IndyCar Series is boosted by Logical in association also with Joel Real Timing. That guy has been Jack Stiles. I'm Will Vincent. It took us a while to get there, but we did in the end. Congratulations to Matt Cook, and good night from Wisconsin.
Will and Jack, thanks for everything. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Matt Cook would have been here, but